Welcome to solverfy.
In question, we are given two gliders. The first glider is moving in the rightward direction. Its mass is m1 and velocity is v1 let. And another glider is moving in the leftward direction, having mass m2 and velocity v2. And they both collides. And after the collision, we are going to find the velocities of these gliders. And we are given that value of m1 is 0.142 kg, value of v1 that is 0.79 meter per second, and value of m2 is 0.296 kilogram, and value of v2 that is 2.17 meter per second. And since it is in the opposite direction of the first glider, so we can take it as minus also. Now let velocities after collision are v1 dash and v2 dash for glider first and second respectively. So by momentum conservation, we can write that initial momentum m1 v1 plus m2 v2, that will be equal to m1 v1 dash plus m2 v2 dash. This is our equation first. And since it is elastic collision, so kinetic energy will also remain conserved. So second equation we will get that initial kinetic energy, that is half m1 v1 square plus half m2 v2 square, that is going to be equal to 1 by 2 m1 v1 dash square plus 1 by 2 m2 v2 dash square. This is our equation second. Now from this equation first and equation second, we can find the value of v1 dash. So v1 dash will be equal to m1 minus m2 divide m1 plus m2 multiply v1 plus 2m2 divide m1 plus m2 multiply v2. Now you can put the values. Value of m1 is 0.142 minus 0.296 divide 0.142 plus 0.296 multiply v1 is 0.79 meter per second plus 2 multiply m2 is 0.296 divide m1 plus m2 0.142 plus 0.296 multiply. Now value of v2 is minus 2.17, so this becomes minus, and value of v1 dash we get around minus 3.21 meter per second. So after the collision, the velocity of the first glider is going to be 3.21 meter per second in the opposite direction of the initial velocity v1. And secondly, in the second part of the question, we are going to find the velocity of the second glider after the collision. So v2 dash is given by 2m1 divide m1 plus m2 v1 plus m2 minus m1 divide m1 plus m2 multiply v2. So you can put the values here. 2 multiply 0.142 divide 0.142 plus 0.296 plus m2 is 0.296 minus 0.142 divide 0.142 plus 0.296 multiply value of v2 is minus 2.17. Now if we solve this expression, then we get around minus 0.25 meter per second, and the magnitude v2 dash, that will be equal to 0.25 meter per second. And similarly, the magnitude of v1 dash, we can write it as 3.21 meter per second.